Humidus Podcast.
Welcome, beautiful people, to the Humidus Podcast with Hammer and
Steph, and we're back.
Steph.
Hello.
We're back. We're back again after yet another small pause.
Yeah, summer's hectic, man. It's just how it is.
Yeah, vacation's hectic.
Yeah,
Oh,
it really is.
I'm dying. But yeah, you're probably bogged down with work,
Yeah.
because of all the vacation people.
Absolutely. So I'm in the opposite. I had like one week of vacation like a couple of weeks ago, and then now it's just like full super summer grind. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
So-
work. The listeners don't know this, but I work like right by your work.
Oh, yeah.
At
You're
least
still
once a
there,
week.
right?
Yeah, it was like, it's almost my last week now. This was like today was the last day before my summer vacation, and then I'm gonna work 1 week after that, and then
Okay.
I'm done. So then I'm not gonna be there. But the point is that I looked out of the window, and yeah, the parking lot was just fucking packed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hilariously bad. But, and now it's at least, the Rona and everything is kind of calming down a little bit.
Yeah.
Where
Definitely.
like most people have gotten their first shot now, including me.
Yeah, you have.
I have. I am now Nurgle free,
Yeah.
Nurgle proof.
You're 5G infused. Bill Gates has your number.
Yeah, now Bill Gates can see the secret code to my porn stash in my Spire apartment.
Yeah. Bill Gates is very interested in personal lives of Norwegians.
Speaking of porn, though, can I start
Okay.
with my story?
Yeah, sure. Just that segue is promising. So go on.
All right, so you know how Donald Trump was banned from Twitter and all that, like how
Yeah,
he wanted to be
sure.
a blogger and all that, and just like that just completely imploded. So he made like this other, I think it's an app called Getter that is
Yeah.
supposed to be some kind of like forum, like Twitter, social media
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
for Trumpists. But you know what? You know what's also been trending on Getter?
Porn.
Sonic the Hedgehog porn.
Oh my god. Sonic. I mean, there's so much potential there for like gruesome illustrations. But is it like anime style, or is it 3D, or
Probably
is it just
all of it.
slides?
Probably all of it.
Oh, you
I-
haven't checked it. You haven't delved?
I've seen screenshots of it, and I've seen
Okay.
3D renders, and I've seen
2D,
2D, and it's
3D
all
renders.
It's like full on furry hentai shit posting, and
Right.
the funny thing is, some of the most trending tags
yeah,
are like hashtag Sonic feet,
Sonic feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then like Sonic loves communism, Sonic came in my pussy.
Oh my god! But it is a thing with Sonic's feet, right? Because you never see his feet; you always see the shoes.
Yeah,
Those white and red shoes, aren't they? White and red, right?
yeah,
White and red,
yeah.
They were always they were cool shoes. But I mean, yeah, of course, people fetishize his feet, like blue stink. Imagine the stink from Sonic's feet, man.
After running like at light speed, and then.
Yeah, probably. Maybe it doesn't stink because he like burns off every fucking particle.
I mean, does he even sweat though? Isn't he
Inside
like
them.
an animal? Maybe he sweats through his tongue.
Yeah,
like
that's
animals,
right.
like
I mean,
dogs do.
animals with fur don't sweat like we do, right? Because sweating is like a unique trait for us, which is a very like a huge advantage if you want to traverse a desert, like in Africa, like where humans were basically our inception.
Yeah.
So in order to like hunt gazelle or whatever, you need to trek over huge like distances of land in like scorching sun, and to be able to do that, you need to be able to drink and sweat, basically. And that's why like humans can actually defeat like animals in endurance.
Yeah. I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, it's all kind of weird how that works. And another thing that's even weirder is like apparently since this app is quite new, I think. So
yeah.
So apparently there's very easy to impersonate people on this.
Yeah. They don't have the validation thing.
I don't think so, no. And then there was this guy who you know, he impersonated the Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
And then he was just like enthusiastically sharing fetish images of a massive Sonic treating on a hapless persona.
Oh my god. That's just too good. That's just too good that it's Sonic porn. I mean, what kind of characters? You have like Robotnik, of course.
Yeah.
Or Eggman.
Have people fetishized him though, do you think?
Yeah, of course. I mean, he must be like he's so round and mustachy.
And he sweats.
And I mean, just imagine what kind of dildo robots he
Oh,
could
Jesus
come up with.
fucking Christ. Dude, like, dude. I made the huge mistake of searching for Dr. Eggman hentai in Google.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, now you're tainted forever.
This is the like, all right. Should I send you this image?
Probably not. Probably we'll get like flagged somewhere in some kind of.
Bill Gates, I hope you're watching.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Can I send it in Facebook? Do you think?
Yeah.
I can't.
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, humans are so. What a fucked up race we are. Okay, so for the listeners, it's basically what are the Sonic's two companionettes, which are
like
Amy
the
animals.
more
It's
that I
Amy. I can't remember. It's the one from the forest, basically.
The beige one.
Yeah. She's from that Sonic, the cartoon, the second cartoon, I think. Where with the forest animals, where Sonic lives in the forest, and there's like a dystopian future where Eggman has taken over the entire world or something like that. And it's Eggman holding these two up. They're naked, to the extent of I don't even know if they ever had any clothes on, but they have breasts now. And he has like this enormous cock that is like bigger than him. Basically, it's like 50% of his body weight is the cock, and it's tucked like insanely tightly into his pants that is just sticking out from his stomach area.
It just looks like his balls is like fused with his ass. Like his butt cheeks is also his testicles.
This image, just fucking frame it and put it up on your fucking living room wall or something.
This is like everything I hoped it would not be when I searched for it. Like this image.
This should be like the new podcast. The YouTube like thumbnail. And make it like a small image so people don't report it. Just, those in the know. They're in the know.
This is like one of the last things I want to be associated with.
Okay, yeah. Well, Sonic porn on that social app that Trump made. What is it called again?
Getter.
Just get her. Somebody come get her. He's dancing like, oh fuck yeah. But well, it's like the world's best irony, isn't it?
Yeah, and here it's like, it says like the most things you see here is degenerate hentai, furry porn, leftist Sonic memes, and.
But wait, what is it like people from the left kind of infiltrating and posting the memes, or is it basically right-wing people doing it?
Probably a bunch of all of it. I'm guessing it's just hackers just fucking with them.
Yeah, I think that like, you know, the
Shit posters.
like 4chan people are
Yeah.
probably, they're always after just making chaos. You know, they're not really aligned.
Yeah, and the last thing they say here is that stock photos of pudgy aged men in their underwear. It's like, you know, there's also stuff about like, yeah, Kotaku wrote it as its slogan, Getter's slogan, the marketplace of ideas, suggests that inexplicably fence-sitting centrists might find it appealing as well, and that's particularly true if they're into furry war artwork and memes about Sonic the Hedgehog getting pregnant.
Jesus fucking Christ. Like, why is Sonic the one getting pregnant?
I don't know.
I don't know why. Yeah, we shouldn't ask questions about this. We should just move on, okay?
I mean, this podcast is already so cursed at this point.
Yeah, we should just embrace it. Maybe we should like do. I remember. Maybe I've talked about this before, but it was like a YouTube channel called Down the Rabbit Hole or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, have you seen his movies like Jørgen Knudsen? It's basically like Jørgen Knudsen, which is the most Norwegian name ever.
Yeah.
but this guy is like, he's making like videos, like really almost documentary style videos, insanely in depth about the most obscure, like Sonichu. Have you seen that one?
Oh
Yeah.
Man, what a fate.
What a fate. Oh, Jesus Christ. But my favorite one is Lose Those, or the like the God operating system, the holy operating system.
With a guy who has like an illness.
Yeah. I mean, these people are, you know, mentally ill. These aren't normal people. You know,
No.
he's reporting. It's almost like if you were to be very critical, you shouldn't really, you know, engage in because it's like exploiting their general disease, you know, for entertainment, basically. Because they're sick. They're sick people. You don't differentiate a regular, you know, biological, physiological disease and a disease of the mind. This is a disease, you know.
Yeah.
And
Nurgle and Slanesh has infected them at the same time.
So you don't really. I mean, it's like basically laughing at, you know, some people who can't walk or something. It's basically the mental equivalent of that.
Yeah.
but we still do it, you know, and it's not that I laugh at him, but it's just fascinating. I feel it's really fascinating the way like the mind works and how confused and intense, but also clever and ingenious it can be even in that confused state, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. The interesting thing, especially about the one you talked about now with the God operating system.
Yeah.
I think you showed me parts of that one when I think Dan Gann, Morbid M, and the two of us, we were hanging out, and then I think you showed it to us.
Yeah, that's right.
We watched like parts of it, and it's exactly it. When you see it, you don't want to make fun of it. It's not like, oh, that's so weird. It's more like you just sit there and just like you said, it's fascinating. You're just like, it's such a different thought pattern and everything, and you just sit there and you're just like, wow, this is this is really interesting. And then when he loses his like strain of thought and stuff, and he just trails off and
into like rantings and stuff.
Yeah, it's very. It makes for a very compelling watch because it's
it does. It
it's
does.
Almost as much a psyche study as it is, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can also see like I think if you know your psychology, you can see like typical patterns in his behavior.
Yeah.
And where he kind of he resorts to profanity and racial slurs, and that kind of mixes into a certain degree of intelligence, and in some like very specific cases, it's a high intelligence.
Yeah.
Where he's really, really good at what he's doing, and then you see like the social dysfunction, you know, kind of bubble up, and also paranoia. He talks about the CIA. He talks about people watching him. yeah, you can kind of see it all in that one. It's very fascinating, but also very. You also, yeah, it's sad, and you feel that kind of the morality of it, kind of being a little bit because, I mean, the guy making these videos, he's actually making a lot of money off of it, you know. Even though, I mean, all kudos to him, he's working hard, and it's hard to make these videos. They're very well made and thought out, and he never kind of puts his own opinion in there. It's just presentation of facts, basically. But still, it's a little bit on the iffy side, you know, because like we talked about, these are mentally ill people.
Yeah. But I feel like it's okay in terms of like, because it's very informative and it's more of like you said, it's a documentary, and the fact that he doesn't give his opinion, I never felt that he was trying to, he was not preying on them.
No. And I mean, he has to do it like that, because if he was kind of injecting anything into that would be not okay, you know. And he's doing it perfectly, and that's why it's so popular.
Yeah, and it becomes kind of like a footnote in internet history.
Yeah, definitely.
Because this is still very interesting to read about, and that's why I feel like it's okay the way he does it. But it's a thin line, you know.
Yeah, it's a thin line. It's very thin. Did you see the Final Fantasy House one?
I saw a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen like all of it.
No. Okay, so just suffice to say that it's really interesting. Everybody, you should check it out. Be open-minded and check it out. I think I played like Factorio or something while I listened to that one.
Yeah.
His videos, and Factorio is a game you can play for like 10 hours straight, you know, just grind it out, and it's very monotonous, even though it's cool, you know. You still do the same repetitions over and over. So I think I like heard almost all of his videos during Factorio sessions, which was a good experience.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just what you do. It's you know, one of those summer vacations, or you know, that's when those things happen. Like usually those long play sessions where you just put on something in the background and just get lost.
Oh, that's such a good feeling, especially if you have the right game.
Oh yeah.
But talking about the right game, I've heard you played a little bit of Subnautica VR lately, right?
Yeah. I managed to make it work with some mods, pretty easy to install and all that, because apparently the VR functionality that's included in the game is pretty broken and non-functional.
Oh.
So I just added.
You had to like modify it in order for it to work properly?
Yeah, but it was pretty easy to do. It's just a couple of small downloads, and then it was already just seamlessly integrated into the Steam version.
Right. Okay, so yeah.
And so the thing is, you play with a controller, or keyboard and mouse, I guess. But for my case, I use controller, and then the VR headset is like you use just like your head to turn in the direction, and you can also do like some additional you know, more precision turning with the sticks, but then you also use the cursor with the way you're looking. And so also to like swim up and down, you just look up and down and swim and stuff like that. And
right.
I gotta say, man, that game is hella immersive in VR. That was insane.
I can imagine.
I mean, as soon as I saw,
how's you describe the control scheme to me right now, but is it like, does it take you out of it that you have to kind of? I think that like using the head movements is good, but you mentioned the cursor. Do you need to use the cursor like often?
No, only in menus.
Only in menus, of course. Okay, so only in menus. But when you do the crafting and stuff, do you need to use it then?
Yeah, but you don't have to use. You can also use the sticks normally.
Yeah. Okay.
So you don't have to do it, but it works as an.
It's easier.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So I was actually pretty happy with the control scheme. You might get a little bit of like neck strain if you play it for a long time, but the battery of the VR
Yeah, of course.
is like, I think mine lasts for about 3.5 hours or something if I play.
Yeah.
And if I play for that long, you know, it's good for a session anyway. It's not often that I have that much time to sit down and play one game anyway.
No.
But I'm loving it, and it's so scary. And I haven't even met a Leviathan yet. I only played it.
Is this the first time you played it?
Yeah, I've only seen gameplay of it before. I've seen some Let's Plays and stuff, so I know, I know kind of what I'm getting into, but not really. It's a different thing altogether to experience it like this. And the sound of the VR headset, I have the Oculus Quest 2, and the sound, the speakers integrated into that headset, it's like directly, it goes right towards your ears, and the sound quality is quite good, and it's very directional. So all those, like, before you are familiar with what type of creature makes what kind of sound, it's extremely scary, and fucking I get so paranoid in that game.
I know. I mean, now I've played it so much that I can kind of discern, like you said, what kind of creature makes what kind of sound, so you're not that afraid anymore. But like the first time, it's insane, right? It's insane.
The sound that weird farting acid creature makes that swims around the first biome.
Yeah. That
kind of looks like
gas,
a sea lion.
Yeah, the gas kind of creature which squirts out the gas shit.
Yeah, and it's not really that dangerous, and it's pretty docile, but the sound it makes, it freaked me out so bad the first time, and I was like looking out around desperately to see if there was some kind of predator.
Yeah.
But it was just that goofy looking Nurgle seal.
Yeah, it's that, and it's the, the fucking floating islands, the huge kind of, also very docile whale-like creatures that are, barnacle covered. And have you seen those?
I've seen the one that's like the docile Leviathan. That's kind of like, it looks like a giant shell with some tentacles and stuff. Is that the one you mean?
Yeah, and it floats like very slowly.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It makes like a like a huge, very you get the impression that it's a huge creature.
Yeah, and
you're like, oh fuck. And and the thing is, you're probably like looking at some fucking minerals or something, just mining away, down deep, your oxygen getting low, and then you hear this fucking like behind you, and you're like, what the fuck?
And the bass is so like it just, the sound design of that game makes them sound huge as well. And the first time I saw them, I was entering that biome for the first time, and I saw like the smaller, the adolescent ones, it's like swimming there, and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty big. Is it dangerous? And then like in the background, looming close to the surface, came like the grown-up one. And it just like slowly drifted. I was like, oh fuck. And when you see that in VR, you feel like you're a fucking midget. Like the scale is insane.
God, I want to experience that. So for those of you who don't really know, Subnautica is like a survival how would you describe it? It's like a survival underwater exploration game, which is it's like you are the sole survivor of a crash like on an alien planet. Yeah, and it's basically like a sea planet. And you just try to survive. The first thing is you try to survive.
Yeah.
And you follow like an AI program that kind of helps you along surviving, and you have like this super technology which makes you have like a beam gun basically that can synthesize anything as long as it has the raw materials.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking atmospheric. The first time when you jump from the pod, the rescue pod.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so insane, and just going below underwater and seeing like the rich alien fauna basically.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
The game is like, it's an indie game, right?
Yeah, it's an indie game.
But it doesn't feel like it at all. Granted,
No.
I came into it pretty late in its life cycle.
Yeah.
But the graphics and how polished the gameplay is, how great it looks and how great it sounds and everything. This is really talented developers.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can kind of feel, I mean, it was in development for a long time. I bought it like in early access, but the thing is that you can feel it like in some parts of the game, you can feel that it's an indie game because some parts are not as well developed as others.
Yeah.
But like the core main gameplay loop and where you experience like you said, the base building and the survival and experiencing all the new creatures that are gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
That part is just, and the fear of the unknown in this game is just so insanely well executed.
Absolutely. I mean, I've only played it for like 6 hours maybe at this point.
Yeah.
So the only really dangerous creatures I've met so far is the shark, the scavenger shark thing with the beak.
Yeah, the sand shark or...
Oh, that one too.
No, yeah, the one, you're the one in the kelp forests, basically.
Yeah, the ones that just it grabs like metal parts and runs off with them.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And like them and the sand shark, and then the fucking explosive pufferfish.
Yeah, the sulfur guarding explosive.
I hate them, especially in the beginning before you have the speed boosts, because it's very hard to run away from them.
Yeah, they're basically, you just have to almost tank them.
Yeah, and then go up and get a med kit and just like, all right, back to getting sulfur.
Yeah. What do you think about the base building though, and like that kind of survival element?
It's not too hardcore, which is the way I like it. Because I'm more fond of the exploration part rather than building. So I always just want to quickly get the gear that allows me to travel the furthest as fast as possible.
Right. So let's. Do you want to be a little bit spoiled, or do you want to kind of keep it as?
Nah, spoiling is fine. Like I've seen most of the surprises anyway.
Yeah. So, you know that you can really like craft like a huge U-boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can. That's like really good for what you just mentioned. Just really exploring and taking your base with you. Basically, you can. Grow food in that one and store huge amounts of stuff in it and store the fucking mech suit in it. Can't remember what it's called, but it's like subterranean or underwater mech suit basically.
I love the sound of that.
So you have that, and you have like the small nimble kind of sub.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, you've seen that one, and that's really agile and fast, and you can explore with it. But then you have like a huge fucking sub that's more like a base.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really cool. But I was always, very interested in base building, and I loved being able to kind of have a base, even because the game is really huge. You're just in the shallows, man.
I know.
Yeah. You haven't really gone down deep,
No, I'm approaching where I'm, going to go like deep, because I've seen the entrance to the, the lower biomes.
And you've seen the entrance. I can imagine where the entrance, because I've played this game a lot.
Yeah.
And what you think is like the lower biomes, that's just like the first level of like 5 levels down.
Yeah, I know. I figured. But this is where it's like, all right, I can't see the surface anymore. Kind of. Down into a cave now. But
it's like the first like cave level, basically.
Yeah.
Below the bottom of the sea.
But the thing is, I played the mode where you don't have hunger.
No, yeah, just a creative one.
Not creative. It's I think is it called adventure mode or something? So you have like all the survival aspects except for the maintenance stuff. Like the food and drink and whatever. So you have like mainly oxygen and damage to worry about, and power. So I got the glider finally, and I was like, all right, time to go exploring, baby. And I went exploring until I realized, oh, this thing doesn't run infinitely.
No.
So I'm very glad I didn't take it all the way and try to enter the cave, the first cave.
So you turn back. Yeah, because I have done that a couple of times. Being stranded away from base.
Yeah.
And also, like, the first times, I remember going away from base, I didn't have the beacon.
Yeah.
And there's no map, so you just need to kind of feel your way, back, which was really hard. The first time.
That sounds almost like despair-inducing.
Yeah, that was actually quite bad, but that was my bad. That was my fault for not paying attention, basically. We were going to talk about something else, so we've trailed off for quite some time now, but
TLDR,
Subnautica VR.
Yeah, exactly.
TLDR.
If you have a VR set and you haven't tried Subnautica yet, and you're not afraid of underwater stuff, like there are quite a few people afraid of underwater, but if you aren't, then Subnautica, just find like a guide online to find those couple of mods you need, and just play that shit. It's probably one of the best VR experiences that is out right now.
Yeah, and even if you don't have VR, just try Subnautica. I don't know about Zero Below. Like, there is another game that is basically Subnautica 2, which is called Subnautica Zero Below.
Yeah.
I own that game. I play that game, and I don't really think that it adds, that much new.
Yeah, it's just
certainly if you fucking love the fuck out of Subnautica, just of course buy Zero Below, but it's not like revolutionizing anything, or it's not innovating a lot on Subnautica, basically.
I see that you have a review on Steam.
Yeah, I have a review, and it's not positive. I haven't played it for a long time though, so it might be a little bit better now. And it was certainly, it's certainly okay. I've watched a lot of videos on Zero Below or Below Zero, but yeah, it's just the same game basically.
Yeah.
But Subnautica, the first one, definitely go play it. I've got 55 hours, and it was definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm. And it's cheap too.
It's cheap. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about the new Star Wars Visions trailer, and like Star Wars Visions as a whole, which is just a crazy concept. Or it's not crazy. This is what people have been wanting for a long time.
Yeah.
from Star Wars, but now we're actually seeing it and getting it. What do you think?
I am very excited. I love anime. I lived in Japan for almost 5 years, so I guess that's a given. But Star Wars is such, it's one of the ultimate power fantasies in a lot of ways when it comes to
Absolutely.
And great escapism. And what kid that loves Star Wars hasn't imagined themselves being like, how would I be if I was force sensitive, or if I was able to be a bounty hunter or whatever in Star Wars, right? And I think for anime, it's a great way for Star Wars to just really let loose and just have force sensitive people just fucking go to town, show some crazy force power, some blindingly fast lightsaber battles, or shootouts. All of it. Its possibilities are endless, and some of the studios that are involved here, it's very promising.
Yeah, like you said, it's almost like a wet dream come true with Star Wars X anime.
Yeah.
Hey, you always feel like when you say, do you remember Animatrix?
Yeah, I do.
And like kind of how that feels very natural to the Matrix. It feels almost like that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit like that about Star Wars. That Star Wars is like perfect for anime, and like the power fantasy and taking it a little bit beyond like that classical Star Wars, you know?
Yeah.
Because in the lore of Star Wars, there are like basically Sith Lords and, you know, Jedi that are insanely powerful. It lends itself so well to like the anime power fantasy style, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And I think just like that's why that's part of the charm about the Old Republic stuff as well, because it was during the height of the, you know, the Jedis and the Sith, and it was like all out wars between them, with not like the ones in the Star Wars movies where there are only a few left, but
yeah,
you know, just like thousands and thousands on each side, all at the height of their power.
Right. And you can have like unlimited amount of minor stories and major stories within that, you know, so you can just kind of build and build and build, and to kind of be fan pleasing, you can introduce some canonical characters that are well known, you know, from time to time.
Yeah,
have them, you know, make cameos or be like in episodes and contribute. So I think that this is extremely promising. I just hope that it looks really good from what we see on the trailer.
Yeah.
But you never really know, you know?
Yeah.
This is like, yeah.
And it seems like there's like 9 episodes, and each are done by a separate studio. So obviously, and it's gonna be completely separate stories. So you can, of course, it's gonna vary in quality for sure. Not everybody's gonna be
hit. And style, you know, they're gonna do their own like touch on things.
Yeah,
it looks like. So, but I mean, it's artsy. It's very creative. So I do like that. And for Star Wars, it's fine. But what I wanted, like, if it was my fantasy coming true, it would be like one kind of huge, epic arc. Not like, you know, maybe like 10, 12 episodes, same studio, like massive resources, and just insane animations, like you know,
I know exactly what you mean. And I think that this is probably testing the waters, and I think that if this is successful, who's to say that's not going to happen? Because they've put a lot of money into this, because the studios that are present here, you have something like Studio Trigger that made the Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Oh, that's one of my favorite animes ever.
Yeah. So you can expect this to be like gigantic galaxy-sized AT-ATs that throw Death Stars at each other, you know?
Oh, that's so fucking... I mean, that final kind of merging of Tengen Toppa, when it is really Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, that mech, it's just so fucking good.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, you can meme all day about the drill pierces the heavens, you know. You can,
and it does. It literally does.
And I mean, I find that concept beautiful.
Yeah.
Some people find that hilarious, but I find like you really see what they're trying to convey with that. You know, the pure willpower to just survive and go on, which is just beautiful.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, that final scene where they merge and do in the anti-spirals.
Yeah.
What about anti-spider? Just like the greatest antagonist ever.
I mean, it's so hype with what's his name again? The Spiral King. When he just becomes that floating head, and he also just like morphs into that like Rasengan robot, and he just like oh,
he joins our crew, you know, the Spiral King. He betrays the anti-spirals.
Gurren Lagann is such a fucking acid trip, but also it's a steroid trip.
But it's so emotional as well, and like it's a story so far removed from what you can kind of relate to as reality, because they live underground first, you know. At first they're so subjugated, they don't, because the gunmen or the face robots, they don't want to even fucking pop their head above ground, and and then they kind of get the courage to venture overground, and then they defeat the Spiral King. They take over the planet.
Yeah.
And then it's like the solar system, and then it's like the galaxy.
Yeah. It just
basically then it's
the scope just blows out of proportion.
Yeah.
But we need to be very careful what we say about this anime when it comes to story spoilers, because there might be people out there that could possibly watch it, and there are some huge twists in this anime.
Absolutely.
One of the most iconic moments in anime, in my opinion, happens.
If you haven't seen it, just see it, because for me it's like top 5 anime.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
very close. I think.
Yeah.
And just the soundtrack as well.
Yeah, the soundtrack is amazing, and the last scene when they combine, and like the speech, and it's actually very progressive.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's about just everybody cooperating and how strong humanity can be together if we cooperate and lend our best strengths to each other, which is a powerful message.
It is, and it's not done in a way where it's like really cheesy, because they're pretty self-aware too.
Yeah.
It's like they really exaggerate and go far with it, and they are fully aware that this is like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just remove the brakes and just let it roll downhill. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah. I do completely agree, but it works, and it works because they've built it up for almost the entire series.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the way the storytelling is done, and even though it's ridiculous and it's tropey, and you know, it's very like shonen-esque with a lot of the messages, it still hits home.
Yeah, and the thing,
perfectly.
And it's shonen-esque, but it also plays with your expectation for it, because it sets it up to kind of be that. But then there's also a lot of death and a lot of like very serious moments that happen, so that it's like almost,
absolutely, because
the characters use that kind of invincible plot armor shonen hero almost as a bravado to keep themselves sane in the face of like overwhelming odds, right?
Yeah, and the odds are really overwhelming in this one.
Yeah.
They're so overwhelming that you're like, this could not in a billion trillion years be overcome by like sheer willpower, you know? No. But then they always find a way to pierce the heavens with their drills.
In all the best ways, baby.
Yeah. But okay, so like Star Wars anime, it's Trigger Studios. Yes.
Trigger made
yes.
You can really tell in the Visions trailer which one is from Trigger, because it's like it kind of looks like they're still using similar designs as the Kill la Kill.
Yeah, and like Kill la Kill also was really well animated. I mean, that animation was.
The animation was superb. I just didn't like the story as much as I did with Tengen Toppa.
I didn't either. No, not nearly enough as Tengen Toppa, but the animation was incredible.
Yeah, and they made that firefighter movie called Promare, which came out almost simultaneously as Fire Force. So everybody, and it's very similar in if you read the synopsis for both things, you almost think it's like a super rip-off of each other, but actually it's not.
Yeah.
And Trigger made it into a movie, and the animation there as well is like insane. It's really good. Oh, and Production IG, I came back to it. I knew it's very famous, and it's because they made stuff like Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, and you know, most of the most successful Ghost in the Shell series they made, and they are really good. And they made
that's good.
More recently, they made Rising of the Shield Hero, which is also a very good one. They made Psycho Pass, which is also very good. Haikyuu, one of the most popular sports anime, also great animation. So they can bring some shit to the table. They're veterans as well.
Cool, man. That's just so cool. I mean, Ghost in the Shell is like, that's like childhood memories, you know. It's kind of after first discovering like Naruto and Bleach and stuff, then you delve deeper and you want to like, what is this? An anime? What is this? and you search the internet and you find like Ghost in the Shell, and
Yeah.
it seems so fucking, it's so mature
Yeah.
and cool, and you're like, whoa, what is this?
And very high concept too.
Absolutely. And like, yeah, a lot of the kind of, you know, thoughts and concepts in that movie are so mature and beyond what a child can actually kind of appreciate, but you still you're still like, whoa, what is this?
I mean,
yeah.
I'm gonna just admit up front that when I watched it the first time, Standalone Complex, when it came out,
Yeah.
I definitely didn't understand all of the political stuff and the intrigue and the economic stuff, and like it just went completely over my head. But I still loved the. I mean, because Standalone Complex came out around between 2002 and 2005, which is insane to me, because I thought it was it in my head it was later than that because it's really well made. But it was one of the first ones I watched as well, and I was just like, oh, I don't really understand what's happening, but I really like it.
Oh yeah, that's fucking good. I mean, so that hypes me up a bit, I must say. But what do you think is like the best animation in anime ever?
Oh, oof. We're gonna do that one in like a last 5-minute segment.
No, just give me like, let me pick your brain a little bit. What do you like? One action scene. I know which one is my favorite. So
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so hard. I've
And
got
try
several.
to divorce it from like what, because I would say like some Hunter x Hunter stuff or something, if I were to kind of combine it with what I feel for the anime, you know, but divorced from the plot of the anime and the overall kind of story.
Just pure animation quality.
Just pure animation quality. Just.
Okay. I got many of this. But one of my most recent examples of this is from Jujutsu Kaisen that ran last year, which is quickly become probably, in my opinion, Jujutsu Kaisen represents a huge step of evolution in the right direction for the shonen genre. Both in terms of just how the storytelling works and is interwoven with the high pace of the of everything, and also character representation and development and themes and animation quality. It's all there. And there is this one fight between the main character Itadori. He fights together with one of his seniors, which is considered like one of the stronger potential up-and-coming characters, named Todo. And they are fighting against a demon that is like, you know, of the highest danger class. And they do a tag team, and they are so in sync with each other instinctively. And holy fuck, when I watched that, I was speechless. And I'm pretty jaded. Like, it takes a lot. I've seen a lot, and it takes a lot for me to sit there and be like, holy fuck. But that was me right there and then. And I just knew when I saw it that, all right, this is a absolute anime classic moment being made, just happening right in front of my eyes.
Just unfolding.
Yeah, I'll send it to you
later. Oh, that's so beautiful. Jesus Christ, man. You're selling me. I mean, you've said like 1,000 times that I should see this, but I've kind of slowly gotten like the feed of the internet.
Yeah.
When something gets popular and when something is good, you will inevitably get like seep through from the internet. Like you see like YouTube movies, you see maybe an Instagram post or something, you see your friends maybe talk about it.
Yeah.
And for me, that's just Kaisen. It's been like that, and now I just have to see it.
I know for a fact that you're gonna love it. Like, this is it is kind of like Hunter x Hunter in a way, where it's a shonen, but it also plays with a lot of maturity, a lot of dark themes, and it's ruthless when it needs to be, just like Hunter x Hunter is.
For like grown-up anime geeks like us, that's like the perfect note, because you want that nostalgia, that shonen, and you want a little bit of escapism, you know.
Yeah.
You just want to be that super powerful guy, and you want that arc where you can kind of reach godhood from being like the loser, you know.
Yeah.
But
and,
but you still think that being grown-ups, that's a little bit too shallow now. You do know that the world is not an easy, simple place. I mean, introduce crazy magical powers into any place where there's humans, and you will have intrigue, you will have backstabbing, you will have dark themes, you know.
Yeah.
It will just not be
Greed.
Oh, we'll just be friends. Yeah, greed, you know.
Ambition.
And ambition, even though, you know, just it will just not be the thing that friendship and perseverance will solve everything, you know.
Yeah.
That's just not reality. And grown-up people don't want to hear that, because they know it's not true. It's a child's fantasy. But you can still have a child's fantasy mixed with reality.
You can,
you know, and mixed with like dark elements of human nature, which is very interesting to explore.
And anime does that very well at times.
Yeah, right. And anime sometimes does that exclusively, and more so than shonen, you know, and that can be almost a little bit too overwhelming also.
Yeah.
It can be like too dark almost, because they do really take it to...
In seinen anime and manga, there's so much dark shit, man.
Right. You know, you can really, even though it's just, you know, cartoons, you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm almost sick right now. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
so
you know, we can do episodes on this as well, like things that have made us really feel different things in anime, like you know, really evoked emotions in us. I think we can do a lot about as well, because there's so much in anime and manga that's done that. I mean, I remember I had to stop reading this one manga called MPD Psycho. Because it was like a detective thriller about a guy who had multiple personality disorder, and that one was just like, it was disturbing. Like it was really disturbing, and you know, then you have stuff like To Your Eternity that's airing. I think it just finished airing. I'm not sure. At least the first season, and that came out of nowhere for me. I started watching it, and I didn't cry, but I was very in a very emotional mood after I watched even the first episode.
Yeah.
And that anime is like, holy, that's just like gut punch city, but also very wholesome.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, that's just good. If it can elicit that kind of emotional response, then it's good media.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, but yeah, sometimes anime is just a little bit too dark, you know. At least for me. Some people do really enjoy that. Really, I too enjoy exploring like the dark side of human nature, and I have experienced it in my own life, and I do know that humans are complex creatures, and not so far removed from animals as we like to think.
Capable of ultimate good and ultimate evil.
Right, and you know, like the being, you know, intelligent and being able to have agency over your own life is really a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But like that good mix, you know, of the fantasy, the power fantasy with the good feelings, because people are also good, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And people do great things when they cooperate. Just look at us. We can travel to, you know, space. We can communicate like with basically seconds all over the world, as you know, the delay is basically almost like to the 10th of a second.
Yeah.
From here to basically everywhere. So that's, you know, an incredible achievement from being basically hairless apes. So we can absolutely do creative and marvelous stuff if we cooperate and nurture our good side as well. And that's kind of the beauty of it. So that nice blend, and I feel that Jujutsu Kaisen is presenting itself as that.
Yeah. So that's where you were going with it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even seen it, so it was very grandiose, but
yeah, but it's true. And I feel Jujutsu Kaisen came out right on the tail end of the hype for Demon Slayer. And Demon Slayer was propped up to be the next new gigantic shonen hit. And it was, for all intents and purposes. The sequel movie that came out was one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Especially for Japan, it was, I think. But ultimately, I found it to be a decent shonen with some high points, but a lot of, you know, there was still a lot of stuff in it that just didn't catch me. But then Jujutsu Kaisen came along and just super, you know, Naruto style, Hachibi lariated me to space and back.
Yeah. I mean, that feeling, we always kind of seek that first heroin shot, right? Because we grew up with that kind of the first kind of Western shonen anime besides Dragon Balls, which was like Naruto and Bleach, basically.
Yeah. And One Piece to some extent.
And One Piece to some extent. I mean, I watched the fuck out of One Piece. I love that. That's one of my favorite anime ever. But for me, it was like Naruto first. And then Bleach second. And I can remember that first high, you know. And you do chase that first high. You do kind of smell that sense of adventure. But I think that just the thing that was, anime was so new and so foreign, and so for me, even being, you know, older than you, I can remember that fucking nobody I knew, like 3 people I knew ever just knew what anime was at all.
Yeah.
And the way I got to experience anime was that I had a pirated chipped Xbox. I didn't have my own computer, but I had the first Xbox and had a pirate chip in it, which made it, you know, the bootleg OS, so you could kind of load whatever you wanted into it. And I remember plugging it from the TV and just putting it in a backpack and biking from my place for like 1 hour to like this buddy of mine who had like a computer with a TP cable, and he downloaded some Naruto for me, and I got the first episodes stored on the hard drive of the Xbox, and I biked home and just watched like the first 20 episodes of Naruto 1 trillion times in a row, you know, because that's what I had space for on the 8 gigabyte hard drive of the original Xbox.
I mean, I imagine the nostalgia for that time period is gonna be massive.
Yeah, it's basically insane. It's insane. Also, I had a SNES emulator on that one, and I had like I don't think it was the entire library, but it was basically almost like 1,000 games.
Damn.
Yeah, I had some crazy amounts of games, but then also the thing was that I kind of went through them all over time, and sometimes you just discovered because the internet was so young and you didn't there was no database for like good JRPGs, you know, but the room dump that I got was, a lot of the rooms were fan translated. They were never released, the games were never released outside of Japan, but they were patched with fan translations.
Damn.
You know, and this was the time when, you know, that type of thing was, I didn't even know what a fan translation was, you know.
Yeah.
But I had that on the Xbox, and so like once in, say like every 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I just kind of stumbled onto like a gem.
Yeah.
On the SNES, like a really good RPG or something. I remember playing a game called Seiken Densetsu 3.
Oh yeah. The one.
Yeah.
I think we covered that one on the podcast, the remake.
Right. We covered the remake. So that was like the first time I played that game. That is a fan translation because it never came out outside of Japan. And yeah, I think I'm right in saying that. And it was just an insane experience. The game is like very late in the SNES's lifetime.
Yeah.
So the sprite work is insane, and like it's a huge game. The world building is basically on like a Final Fantasy level, and just imagine like discovering a Final Fantasy quality style game just by accident, basically, by going through this high and like a lot of the games were crap. You know, they were just shitty games that were not even worth your time.
Like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde game.
Like the Doctor, that was an NES, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. But there were a lot of steaming dung piles on the SNES also.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Jeez, bro. But yeah, I can remember a lot of the games that were shit were like these porn games and
porn games.
Yeah, they were porn games. They were basically hentai images, sprite work that were covered but behind like a small puzzle.
Oh.
You had to solve the puzzle, and then you could see like a naked hentai girl of some form. I don't know where they came from, but there were rooms like that, you know. So,
I mean, yeah, some steamy nights in the basement playing a puzzle.
Even being like a super horny teenager, that was a little bit too weak for me. Even that, you know. But yeah, let's not delve into like the porno history of it. But yeah, so that old Xbox just fucking crammed with nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
We had a goal for this one that it was gonna be a short, snappy pod. Yeah, so much for that.
Maybe I can make this into 2 episodes or something. Who knows?
We'll figure it out. But anyways, people, just remember, just stay humid, okay?
And stay dank as well. It's necessary in this day and age.